What's going on, all you gamers? Here we are, and today we're going to be going over Outriders, the eagerly awaited game that should have been released a couple of months back but is now due to be released on April the 1st. And it's no joke and looks like it's shaping up to be something kind of special. Well, I hope. Today we're going to be going into what they've actually brought out, and that's in regards to the legendary armour sets. So if you want to see the kind of state of the game and where it's heading, and the new armour sets for the different character classes, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Right, so as always, before we get into anything, if you'd like to become part of the Sofa Squad for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, obviously for a lot more Outriders and a lot more of the latest and greatest in games, then hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for now, let's crack on. So the first armour set that we're going to be taking a little look at, and I think you've already guessed from the gameplay, that's going to be for the Trickster. So this armour set is basically called the Chrono suit, and we're going to be kicking it off with looking at the Chrono suit mask. Now in general, just looking at these four pictures, I think this set looks really good. It looks quite amazing, to be perfectly honest. Now taking a look at this set overall, the actual aesthetics of it are really nice. I really like what they've done with it. The armour kind of pops a little bit with the kind of electric circuits going through it, and the mask looks really good. So I think they've done a great job on it. But as for the actual armour itself, it looks like each piece has two mods, which is kind of like having two kind of additional perks or things that go into your perks. So it kind of makes your build a little bit stronger. So the mods for the first one, the mask, is aggressive teleportation. So borrowed time, reverting time, creates an explosion around you that inflicts 345 damage to all enemies in range of 8 meters. That in itself sounds really good, I must admit, because obviously this is quite a melee focused class, or at least quite a close range class from what I've seen so far. And just over here, strong twist. Twisted rounds, while the skill is active, increases weapons firepower by an additional 15%. So again, very good. Nice and damaging, and looks like these two could be really good for this build. So just over on the right here, and we've got the Death Shell. Borrowed time. Killing enemies while borrowed time is active reduces incoming weapon damage by 10% and anomaly damage by 10% for 10 seconds. The buff is removed at the end of the skill, stacks up to 4 times. That again sounds really good. It seems like it's trying to kind of, I don't know about tanky, but it's giving it a bit of survivability to the class. And additional mag. Twisted rounds. The skill is effective for 2 magazines before triggering the cooldown. So again, kind of looks like it's elongating that kind of twisted rounds a little bit. So just down here in the bottom left, we've got the lower Chrono suit. So this one says ammo bargain. Twisted rounds, while the skill is active, killing shots replenish 20% of your ammo in your magazine. Really good. Regen is always good on all builds, and this may mean that you're able to actually kind of keep going as such if you made it perfect build with the perfect kind of perks as such. Depending on how the skill trees are, you may well be able to shoot constantly if you got it good enough. Armour of Eons. Borrowed time, activating the skill increases your armour by 100% for 10 seconds. So again, that looks like this. I must admit, I thought this was going to kind of be the squishy class, the get in, get out or you're dead. It looks like it's got a lot of survivability and a bit of tankiness to it. And finally, the Chrono suit footgear. Just over here, it's got the Shield of the Fallen. Twisted rounds. When the skill ends, add 15% of your maximum health as shields for each enemy killed by the skill. So again, it's actually sorting out your survivability even more. I definitely didn't think that was the way they were going with this class, but it looks like you can get in, get out and not worry too much. Diffuse. Sprinting increases your armour by 3,743 and resistances by 50%. So again, an all-round very stable build. It looks like these kind of mods are definitely helping you to stay alive. It's not quite what I thought they were going to go for, but obviously I don't know what perks and such go into this. But yeah, that looks interesting. It definitely looks like they've gone a lot more survivable than I actually thought they were going to be going, but then again, that first one where you've got the explosion around yourself, that could be really fun to play with, as you're going to be close range a lot. Now, the 3-piece bonus for this is for the chrono suit. Reverting time replenishes ammo in your clip. So again, with this guy, it definitely doesn't look like you'll be running out of ammo anytime soon, and he may well be able to keep up that firepower as much as he wants, depending on how we'll see his kind of perks and skill tree work out later on. But yeah, all in all, a really nice kind of bonus for that set. And here, as you've probably guessed from the gameplay, is the Technomancer. And with that, we're going to be looking at the Torrential Downpour set. So the Torrential Downpour's goggles. The first one is Breathe In. Fixing Wave reduces the skill's cooldown by 20%. And more traps. Scrapnel, 1 additional mine can be thrown before triggering the cooldown. So always good, you've got a little bit of extra kind of damage kind of going out, so chucking mines on the floor by the looks of it. And the first one is obviously a bit of survivability. I'm guessing that's probably for your whole team. Fixing Wave sounds very much like a healer thing going on. It's probably for your whole team. And just on the right hand side, we've got the Torrential Downpour's armour. Trap Cluster. Scrapnel doubles the number of mines that can be thrown before triggering the cooldown. So that obviously goes along with the first one. Very nice, very good. It looks like you're going to create a small minefield as such, so I'm guessing it's a really good defensive or offensive kind of ability that you're going to stand behind and the waves are going to come towards you. So Cleansing Wind. Fixing Wave, activating the skill, removes negative statuses from allies and grants 5 seconds of immunity from them. So again, yep, definitely this guy is a bit of a support class, which is no bad thing in itself. It looks like he's definitely going to be strong in a team, probably a more team player than a solo player, but I can't 100% say that yet. Looks like he's got a very rounded build. So just down the bottom here, Head of the Ward. Reviving an ally also fully restores their health. Again, sounds quite invaluable kind of later on, especially that late game. I'm guessing that will definitely come into play. And more damage. Scrapnel increases the skill's damage by 284. Again, if you're throwing out more of them, then I'm guessing upping the damage will definitely help you, and this looks like he'll be able to kind of really help out in those tricky situations if you've got to hold off waves of enemies. Just over here we've got finally the Torrential Downpour's footgear. And with that we've got Quartermaster, Fixing Wave. Activating the skill replenishes 1 weapon magazine for each ally cooldown of 45 seconds. And Supplies. Scrapnel, 1 additional mine can be thrown before triggering the cooldown. So again, very well rounded. One that's going to help out and the other one that is definitely going to help out with ads. And it looks like this guy with this set of armour will definitely be able to chuck down as many mines as he wants on the floor, creating an absolutely devastating minefield ready for all your foes to come at you. If you're holding off an area, then this may well be the build for you. And again, the set bonus for this, if you look just down the bottom there, it says when you have 3 pieces, you will activate the Scrapnel creates additional cluster bombs after the explosion. That could be quite game changing. That means he's gone from what I believe to be quite a kind of all-rounder helper out build that can sustain, can help, can debuff and can kind of resurrect, to now his kind of Scrapnel creates additional cluster bombs after explosions. That, depending on how his skill tree is, this guy could be absolutely devastating to ads. This looks like a really fun kind of armor set, and I'm sure you can make a really fun build around it. Now here we have the Pyromancer, and I must admit I'm probably going to sound a little bit biased, as this is the character that I really want to play first when I play this game. I've been looking forward to this kind of for a while, so I'm really glad to get my hands on, or at least look at what he can kind of do. So Cowl of the Reforged. So obviously his set looks like the legendary set of the Reforged, and we're going to look at the headpiece at first. It looks good, I like it. It kind of gives off a Halloween vibe. I'm not going to lie, it looks a bit Halloweeny. It looks nice. I'm sure it will suit this game. So Cow of the Reforged, double fun. Thermal Bomb. The skill can affect 2 targets. This doesn't sound all that amazing, but to be perfectly honest, from what I've seen, if I remember correctly, the thermal bomb kind of triggers an area effect once it detonates. So if you can kill the enemy that has it, it kind of does a big area effect. So again, if you've got that in 2 places or on 2 different ads, then I'm sure that will definitely massacre their enemies. And Big Boom, Thermal Bomb, increases explosion radius by 20%. So again, both going into that kind of area effect, really nice. Just over here on the Armour of the Reforged, and we've got Branded. Thermal Bomb. Enemies affected by the skill receive 40% more damage. So again, that looks really nice. I'm guessing that's kind of to single out the single target. So the person you put on will be receiving more damage than the rest of them, I would guess. And Bullet Absorption. Feed the Flames. Replenishes 20% of the ammo in your magazine for every enemy affected by the skill. That could definitely be good, will definitely keep you shooting. That sounds like a really nice helpful skill. Just down the bottom here we've got Waistcloth of the Reforged. Flame Grasper. Feed the Flames. Enables the absorption of 2 additional targets. So again, it looks like it's playing into that kind of multi-target gameplay. And Wildfire. Thermal Bomb. The skill inflicts burn on every enemy damaged by the explosion. That could be something really good. Obviously it depends how much the actual AoE does and how much tick damage could be, but if the tick damage is higher, that could massacre ads really well. And last but not least, Boots of the Reforged. Power Assimilation. Boosts your anomaly power by 192 for each elite present on the battlefield. Really good. It means your kind of power scale accordingly to when there's really high damaging enemies. That is really good to know. Definitely glad that I'm picking this class. I think that mod will help out really vitally in the late game content and probably after you've completed it and gone on to endgame. And finally, Nova. Feed the Flames. Increases the skill's range by 100%. Definitely the class for kind of AoE damage and doing that mass effect. So it's also got Reforged, so its set bonus for wearing the armour is increases Feed the Flames damage and thermal bomb damage by 50%. So again, this looks like a very DPS or damaging build to have. Definitely doesn't look like your healer type, as you can kind of guess from the fact that it is pure flame, where, let's face it, most times you don't really get healed by being on fire. Now last but definitely not least, and this is another very intriguing class to me, and this is the Devastator class. So just up the top here, and we have the Death Proof Mask. So the Death Proof set. The Death Proof Mask gives Primal Weakness Boulder Dash, permanently reduces resistance of all damaged enemies by 50%. So that could be really good, especially if you're able to spam it or use it quite often. Primal Chain Gun. Boulder Dash. Every enemy damaged by the skill increases your weapon damage by 20% for 5 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. So it definitely looks like you're going to be mixing it up with this class. You're definitely going to be close quarters, you're going to be shoulder charging by the looks of it, and then going for that gunplay. Just over here on the right we've got Death Proof Chest Armour, and this is increases a duration. Reflects bullets, increases the skill's duration by 40%. Now this, I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers or anything, but this is really fun, as it basically, how can I put it, this reflective bullets on this character kind of reminds me as if you've kind of crossed Brock Lesnar with Neo from the Matrix, and you're going to be holding all of the bullets by having an absolute tank beast of a guy, and then he'll reflect them back at the enemies and decimate his foes. And just over here you've got Primal Armour, Boulder Dash. Double your armour when the skill ends for 10 seconds. So definitely this guy is going to be in your face, he's going to be tanky, he's going to be dishing out damage. It looks like he's going to do a lot of damage with his weapon as well, so that's good, and hopefully you'll be able to kind of pull off the moves quite often so that you can get that buff. Just down the bottom left here and you've got death proof leg armor. Now just down there, if you look, you've got not impressed, reduces the damage taken from elites by 20%. So again, really good. It's going to make him so that he is definitely the kind of tanky guy in your group. He'll be up front and centre, and hopefully you'll all be holding your own slightly behind him, I would say by the looks of it. Auto reflect, reflects bullets. You can now fight while the skill is active, but you cannot manually deactivate the skill. It only negates 50% of the damage. So while that seems like it may be a negative, as it looks like you'll probably be negating a little bit less, if you've ever played these games, if you get to later levels on things such as this and you're getting completely overwhelmed, anything that auto casts will definitely come in handy, and I'm sure it will be a lifesaver. And finally, death proof foot gear. Life of the party, incoming damage is reduced by 5% for each enemy in close range and stacks up to 8 times. That is really good. Like I said, it kind of goes into his overall tankiness. I'm sure that will make him an absolute beast, and you'll be hitting everyone in the face whilst being hit in the face and not caring too much. And finally, primal constitution, boulder dash. Each enemy you damage increases your maximum health by 307 for 10 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. So again, like we've said, this guy is an absolute beast. If you're looking for someone who just goes around smashing people to pieces and you don't have to worry too much about kind of keeping your health up, because it should be going up anyway, as well as getting a load of resistances, as well as having armor, and as well as being an absolute beast on the battlefield, this may be the guy for you. Now finally, death proof. And this is the set piece bonus for this. Reduce the cooldown of boulder dash by 90%. Which sounds absolutely amazing. So like we said, a lot of it goes into boulder dash. You're going to be spamming that move, you're going to be shooting people with the extra ammo and the extra damage from the ammo you get. You're going to be getting your health back when you get those kills. This guy could be a really fun, devastating build, just like his namesake. Right, all you gamers, so that probably took a little bit longer than I thought. Hopefully you haven't fallen asleep or unsubscribed, but as always, let me know what you think. Do you like the looks of this? Because I think Outriders is shaping up to be an absolutely amazing game, or it has the kind of prospect to be. I wouldn't put anything out there at the moment because, well, we've all been hurt this year and last year enough, and anything could go wrong. But it looks like they're being very open and showing a lot of what the game has to offer. You let me know what you think. So chuck it in the comments. What do you think's the best kind of armor set for this, and what class are you looking forward to playing if you are thinking about buying it? If you think this game looks absolutely awful, then why not tell me why as well? As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, hit that subscribe and bell icon. Take care, I'll see you all next day.